You just saw me take my coat off then. Hello, it's Jen from Burnout to Breakthrough. How you doing? I'm just setting up my camera. I can never get this right. There you go. I think that's okay. Hello, I hope you're all okay. So every Monday I'm here online giving you a boost, and this is all about you trying to find a happier home and work life. Now I've been there, I've been really stressed before, had the experience of severe depression which came from business burnout, running a business, and I am just here to help people because it's a pet hate of mine. I can't stand it when people are struggling with stress, and stress is everywhere nowadays in the modern world. It's hard to juggle all those things up in the air that we have going on at any one time. It's hard to, you know, be on top of all the family commitments or the pressures at work. If you're pushing a business forward or a new project off the ground, that's really challenging as well. So I've been there. I really feel your pain. If you're really right in the thick of it right now and you're experiencing the negative impacts of stress. So this is what the 30-minute booster sessions each week on a Monday provides. I'm going to give you a bit of a snippet as to what how I serve my breakthrough, as I like to call them. I like to help them tackle the negative impacts of stress, and I also like to give them pointers and tips so they can lead a healthier, happier life. So I keep bobbing up and down because I've got a bit of a schedule and I want to make sure that everything is covered with what I want to speak with you today. So the first few minutes is going to be me saying hello like I am right now, and just to let you know of the contact information should you wish to contact me, because I offer 30-minute booster sessions which are free to anyone who is struggling with stress, and how you can find me on my social media platforms. 5 to 10 minutes I'm going to be talking to you a little bit more about my story, why I'm here today, and why I feel passionate about helping people through their struggles with stress. We're going to work out briefly if you are stressed, and the methodology on how we find out your stress levels. And at the 10 to 15 minute mark, we actually go through the 4 steps that I like to encourage anyone, whether you're stressed or not, anyone to implement into your life in order to achieve vitality. So that's that. And then the 5 to 20 minute mark will go through steps 1 and 2. 20 to 25 minute mark will then go through steps 3 and 4 of the 4-step methodology. And at the end, feel free to fire away with any questions that you have. And there's a little bit more on how you can contact me should you wish to jump into a free booster, which is a one-to-one session that you and I can have. So where can you find me? Who am I? I'm Jen from Burnout to Breakthrough, and you can find me by Facebook. This is the BPM Lab coaching page. I've been working on this page now for nearly 6 years with myself and John. We've had businesses for nearly 6 years now, and I like to jump into this and just to inform my other members of what I'm up to. So you can contact me via the BPM Lab coaching page, or feel free to find me at my new Facebook page, which is From Burnout to Breakthrough, and that's where I release daily tips and tricks and steps and methodologies in order to achieve vitality in your life. So that's From Burnout to Breakthrough. I'm actually going to be launching, fingers crossed as well, my new website, maybe this side of the bank holiday, which I'm very, very excited about. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That will be www.fromburnoutToBreakthrough.com. I've just launched a new YouTube channel as well. I have been on YouTube now for about 6-7 years, but I've never really used it. But my aim this year is to basically convert all my content, put it into nice, neat videos, so I can then help people, busy entrepreneurs and hardworking professionals, to improve their stress levels. So yeah, come and join me at the From Burnout to Breakthrough YouTube channel there. And then if you wanted to, just call me. You can catch me on 07872 940 500, and at the moment I've got my old email address, jen@bpmlabcoaching.com. So, and if you're there, say hello. It'd be great to see who's there. But this is my downtime, and I don't expect anyone to be live right now with me, because it's when my son goes to nursery and everyone's at work. And if they're not, they're probably outside enjoying the nice sunshine today. So it is another nice, beautiful day. So, but if you are there, say hello, and fire away with a question that you might have throughout the 30-minute booster. So I am going to start off with, like I usually do, and ask that question: have you ever experienced the magic? Now, the magic is when you feel on top of your game, when you feel like everything in your life is working out and everything falls into place and everything you set out to do materialises right in front of your eyes. That's you being in flow, which is brilliant. And I'm sure most of us have experienced that at one point or another in our lives, which is great. Now, if you feel you are not in flow, then don't worry, because actually a lot of people are not in their, what I call their sweet spots. And the most consistent factor that I believe that interferes with our flow is stress. I mean, stress is everywhere nowadays. Excuse me. And it has a massive impact on our lives, on our family lives, on our work life, on our health, our general well-being. And it's just tough, isn't it? Modern day stresses. So this is where I am today. I have been there through it with the highs and lows of stress, running businesses across 2 countries now, in China and England. And I want to help people get back their flow. So yeah, this is where I am right now. So what happens when we're stressed? So the amygdala is the fear mechanism in the brain, and when we are stressed, this then kicks off and sends chemical and electrical signals to the motor cortex, which is our ability to take action. So either we fight, or I'm a fighter, by the way, or we freeze, or, you know, we run away. So imagine your last argument. I'm not suggesting you argue too much at work, but you might do, depending on your bosses or colleagues, but particularly maybe a partner. How do you feel you respond at that time when you're stressed? That's what I mentioned earlier. I'm a bit of a fighter. I like to get things sorted there and then and move on to the next job at hand. But some other people react to stress in different ways. So as mentioned, they either maybe run away. So they might just walk out the room and say, hey, I just can't handle this right now. That could be, you know, your response. So wherever you are, don't feel bad about, you know, your reaction to stress, because it's completely normal. But what people don't tend to realise is that you can get addicted to the chemicals that are released in your brain, and trying to maybe find the stress. I mean, it sounds crazy and what an out there idea, but because we're just so pumped on adrenaline at any one time, and we're, you know, trying to get things done all the time, we've got so many things that we need to tackle at any one time. It's just crazy, and I've been there. You actually get yourself into a behavioural pattern. Excuse me, frog in my throat today. And yeah, this is where I want people to maybe realise where they are, and if they are subjected to stress, and if they are experiencing stress and stressful patterns, then this is where you might need to think, okay, I need to sort of take action now and start putting interventions in place in order for you to break those cycles. So the fact I usually roll into these booster sessions is 75 to 90% of all doctor visits in the UK alone are due to stress-related illnesses, which is absolutely crazy, really. That shows me that there's a bit of an epidemic, especially in the UK. And a lot of people are just walking around with high levels of stress, and they don't even realise how stressed they are. So that's quite a big indication as to where we are today with our work and home life. And and it was the stat in 2017 that 11.7 million days were taken off due to stress. And last year, 2017, so last year, it rose to 12.5 million. So again, it's just going to rise for this year once the stats have been confirmed. So yeah, what is going on? Why is it we're walking around with so much stress, and, you know, that's affecting our productivity at work? Oh, I've got one of those particularly coughs at the moment that my son's giving me, so excuse me while I cane the water and cough all over the camera today. But Yeah, I'm not doing too well, to be fair, but it's fine. It's all good. I won't spread the love because obviously we're live on the phone. Yeah, so that's quite an alarming rate and fact, really. And I mean, what constitutes a a stress illness? So it could be a number of things. It could be things like headaches, skin conditions. It could also be, it could also lead to diabetes, and in real extreme cases, cancer. But I'm not really talking about them. In my situation, the most sort of severe end of neglecting stress signs is me receiving anxiety, patterns of anxiety and severe depression. So that was me not listening to my body for many it went on for quite a few years actually. I'll go into my story in a bit more detail in a bit, but yeah, it can lead to quite a few yeah, I don't want you to get to where I've been, and people can carry a lot of stress and feel caught up by stressful patterns for a number of years. I mean, it can be quite a vicious cycle that you can find yourself getting into. So yeah, I'm here today to help you get out of that, or at least help you realise where you are. If you're subjected to stress at work and you can't seem to, you know, overcome the triggers there, or at home, or maybe you're experiencing triggers in both your home and work life, then it's time today to realise what you can do and how you can move on forward. So, a little bit about me, just to give you more of an idea as to where my passion for helping others comes from. But yeah, so I've been running businesses now, and it's been really stressful, but it's also been amazing as well. I had great success in Shanghai, China, and it was all hunky-dory. And it seems like as the success of that business went up, my health behind the scenes went down. And the common trait of an entrepreneur, hello fellow entrepreneurs out there, is that we're high achievers, and we're renowned to be a bit of a perfectionist most of the time. So they're definitely my blocks I've had to like work through, because they do catch you out a lot if you have those traits. But yeah, I just worked my socks off in order for the two businesses I had out there to get off the ground. I mean, it was really enjoyable. I love hard work. I mean, I'm a bit of a workaholic as well. That could be another trait for us entrepreneurs and hard working professionals. But without realising, and even though I'm in the health and fitness industry, wow, you can really burn yourself out quickly. So the pattern I was getting into was I was working, you know, setting out all my goals I wanted to achieve. And that's all great, but really ignoring the signs that my body was giving me. So the severe headaches, the fatigue, the, what was I mean, I had lampreythitis for about 9 weeks. And that was diagnosed incorrectly by the Chinese specialist that I was seeing out there. To cut a long story short, I had MRI scans, and it all just went to the point where they were suggesting I had MS and I had to come back. And yeah, lampreythitis I was experiencing, it was severe depression. So what was going on was, even though it wasn't, that was the experience of me being on a boat, and I was just swaying for 9 weeks solid. It was, you know, and I felt sick with it, sick to the point I was actually physically sick on many occasions. But that was obviously just stress just in my body, and I just didn't realise what it was. And it sort of made sense when they did tell me, okay Jane, you're actually experiencing severe depression, when I came back to the UK. But at the time, when you've got so much responsibility, and you just, I know it sounds crazy, but you don't have time to be ill, and you sort of work through your flaws, and that's where, yeah, you can find yourself in a lot of trouble. So yeah, what was basically going on was I was just working. My body was giving me all these signals. I ignored them all, and then my body was then telling me, okay Jen, we're going to completely claw you down, we're going to give you depression. And I think my longest bouts lasted for about 10 days when I was in bed. And then I sort of woke up from it, you know, the haze, the fog that it were, and then, you know, spent 2-3 days being myself, and then I was back to being in bed. So that was the cycle for 2 to 3 years, which is terrible. And that's why I'm here to help you, because I don't want you to ever go through that. So this video is for you if you are tired of being tired all the time, if you find you are juggling way too many balls in the air, if you have too much responsibility, if you feel there's not enough time to do everything that you set out to achieve in the day, if you're fed up with not sleeping very well and you're experiencing brushes of insomnia, you're just feeling overwhelmed by all the responsibility at work or at home, and you feel you can't keep up with your family commitments, if you feel like you're getting nagged by your family because you're always working at the weekends to try and keep your boss or your business happy, and then you feel like you're sort of stuck in that rut, then yeah, carry on watching, because don't you worry, I can help you. And yeah, you want to move forward, you want to move away from all that, don't you? You want to feel less stress at work, you want to regain that control, you want to remember who you were before all the stress started to creep into your life, and you just want to lead the lifestyle that you set out to achieve, because most entrepreneurs have a passion, don't they? And they're buzzing to share with the whole world their purpose and why they were on this planet, to do whatever they wanted to do, and to help people usually. But it's just that we need to make sure we're looking after ourselves in the process. So I like to sort of say we all need to learn to become athletes in today's modern world. So I've got a 4-step methodology, and that is, it's reboot, which is where you have to accept burnout and prepare to break through. And this is where we go through the Are You Stressed questionnaire, if you were to join me for a 30-minute one-to-one booster session via Zoom. So we go through a 25-point questionnaire, and I think when I first filled this out, I was nearly 25 out of 25, and again, most people don't realise how stressed they are, and until maybe it comes out negatively towards a partner, or maybe it's affecting their work. So yeah, it's quite an eye-opener. And also in this section as well, we work out what you want. Now, a lot of people sometimes struggle with what they want in life, but what we do, we just flip over what you don't want in life, ask those sort of seemingly easier questions first, and flip them on their head. And then whatever you don't want, that then translate really to what you do want. So that's in section 1. Section 2, step 2 is boost, where we like to say bye-bye burnout and hello breakthrough. And here we go through whether you are experiencing fear or overwhelm in your life, or whether it's a combination of both. And most of the time, people who lead stressful lives do experience both overwhelm and fear. So that's what we uncover. And the second part to that, step 2, is the blocks. Now, I have 2 block lists, and I must admit the entrepreneur list is longer than the hard-working professional list, but it's pretty much the same. There's a lot of blocks that people feel they need to work through in order for them to get out of their ruts and to move forward and back into control where they want to be. I mean, some of the blocks I'm working through now for me are, I do struggle. I do have that guilt being a mum. Can I work all these hours and try and balance the whole, being a parent thing? That sometimes does affect me, and, I'm trying to work through that because, of course, I've got a purpose in life like most or everyone has, and it's quite hard to find that balance, and that's what I'm trying to achieve. So, yeah, there's quite a few blocks that most people are unaware of. And step number 3 is breakthrough. So this is also seen as the balancing act. So we go through all sections of your life, and we find out where you would rate yourself out of 10. So, like, for example, love and relationships, where do you score yourself out of 10 for that? We would then look into your health. As a general thing, and also into 4 areas that we'll discuss in the 30-minute booster session. But yeah, it's all about working out where you are out of 10. And then from there, I always like to work on your 2 least scoring sections of where you are in your life. in order for you to move forward. And also it's good to be grateful, isn't it? There's always an area in your life that you can actually be quite chuffed about. So if it is fun and recreation, you know, that could be scoring sort of 8 out of 10 for you. It's good to concentrate on that as you move forward and improve your home and work life. And yeah, step 4 I like to call boom, which sounds very, very cheesy, hello, but it's fine, because you get to know and use all the tools that you've learned up until that point, and that's when you just start accelerating and really enjoying life. And that's where the happiness then starts to slowly creep in, because you've got all the tools, you've got a really full toolbox, and you feel you can, you know, protect yourself from any stressful situations. So whether it is at work or at home, or you can transfer any of the skills really into both your home and work life. But, you know, to get to that stage requires practice and dedication, and it's only if you have that doing mentality. And you have to, you have to go through the process. First, as mentioned, step 1 is accepting burnout. You have to accept where you are. You know, you have to accept you might have blocks you need to work through. You have to accept you have to make the change in order to see the results that you're wanting to see in your life. So yeah, that's why step 4 is definitely called boom, because when you've mastered these techniques, it ends up being quite a fruitful life, I must say. So it's time, energy and effort that you need to apply. Yeah, so that's all that. Yeah, there are 4 resources I like to implement, or heavily suggest that you implement into your life for vitality in your life, and that's cardio, strength, balance, good nutrition. I feel you can't just have one, you know, you can't have one without the others. You have to have all 4 in order for vitality to appear in your life. And again, that's to achieve the flow. If you're not doing all of them, then you'll notice quite soon, and that's why it can take some time to, you know, really work hard on these areas. But when you've mastered them, that again is just when you're in your sweet spot. So cardio, we all know cardio is great for reducing stress. It's great for weight loss, and you know, it can increase your heart, your lungs, and you know, this resource in particular can be used for free. You could go out for walks, you could go to the gym. I mean, gyms are not that expensive, some of them not. So you know, you could, for me, I absolutely love spinning. That's a fantastic way to implement cardio into your life. Or you could you know, do the treadmill at the gym. So there's plenty of ways to increase cardio into your life. So even if you're inactive, or whether you are active already and just want to enhance your cardio, there are plenty of ways. So number 2, the second resource is strength. And strength, we know, improves your posture. It can enhance your workouts if you've got a strong body, and it reduces your risk of injury. So if you're experiencing aches and pains, in particular backache, neck ache, that sort of thing, if you are working at the desk or a computer for prolonged periods of time due to your work, then I do know an exercise physiologist, John Robertson. He's fantastic about correcting your aches and pains, and can do with a guarantee. But yeah, it's very good to make sure that you do allocate some time to strengthen your body. So, you know, like me now, I'm right here, I'm talking to you, I'm in front of the camera, I'm sitting by a desk. And, you know, if I was to time this by 8 hours a day like I used to work in a gym, in an office, I used to get the classic right shoulder click and elbow click, like working on the mouse all day. So I would always suggest, because it's hard to remember to do this, is just take a 5-minute break for every hour you work at your computer. That in itself will strengthen your body. You can do floor-based exercises at home, and again, John Robertson is very good at suggesting that if you do need some help. Or, you know, in order to enhance your strength, you can go to the gym, and you could do things like circuit classes there. So that's strength. On the balance side, the third step, this is my favourite. Now, balance can include you time, meditation or mindfulness. And it's good when you're, for example, a busy entrepreneur, hard-working professional, it's good to carve out that you time. every day. I mean, I like to do half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening, because us busy people just do not find the time for themselves. They have this characteristic of helping everyone else, which is fantastic, but they just neglect themselves. So you can start by at least, you know, really, making some you time. You can have a bath, you can go for a walk, you can read a book, but, you know, make sure you do slot yourself every day like you time. The balance, as mentioned, could also mean meditation. I mean, meditation for me got me out of my darkest days when it came, you know, from experiencing severe depression. And I got myself out of depression without taking medication, because rooted deep down within, that wasn't for me. And I'm not saying don't take medication. If you want to, that's fine. But, you know, I've gone through my journey the hard way, so I can now tell you that there are other resources you can use, which are healthier, can be free, because, you know, you don't need to, pay out for anything when you meditate. I mean, it's nice to go on retreats, don't get me wrong, and I have done a couple which are great, but, you know, there's nothing better really than just to switch off and sit quietly in your room, and you really do get to know yourself. Like, what are your thoughts? What are they doing? What are you actually thinking at any one time? And you got to think that you are not your thoughts, because you are that thing, or it, observing the thoughts. So yeah, it's quite a challenge. I wouldn't say meditation is easy. It's more simple as a technique to do, but it definitely isn't easy. But with practice, you definitely will see the benefits from it. Definitely a massive stress reducer. And the fourth resource you can use to increase vitality in your life is good nutrition. Now, everyone knows the benefits of eating food. You get to feel better, you look better, and it regulates your weight. And there are so many ways you can improve good nutrition into your life. So for me, I've done quite a few test runs before. I've become a vegan for 3 months and a vegetarian also for 3 months. Absolutely loved it, because why? It forced me to create really funky, cool dishes in the kitchen, and I wouldn't know where my life would be without YouTube. So it's always good to look at your plate, and I always think if you're eating too much beige, you need to change your food there. So rainbow coloured food, that's always good, isn't it? So, you know, I start my day off with a good chunky hearty smoothie. There's usually at least 10 fruits in there. My little boy Oscar absolutely loves his smoothies as well. Sets us up for the rest of the day. And yeah, I just like to get creative in the kitchen. So yeah, again, it's free, isn't it? Because you're buying shopping anyway. I know it can be a little bit more expensive buying better food, but if you feel better inside, then wow, then obviously it's more of a reason to go off and do it. So that's me rabbiting on. I've done half an hour. These half an hours go so quick. But if you are struggling with stress, then there are, I think, simple ways. I mean, it's not simple to implement into your life if you're feeling very overwhelmed, because you have to sort of think of this as baby steps. You have to, you know, really get a grasp as to where you are in your life, and then slowly implement these 4 resources, these 4 steps. And then you will start seeing some massive change and the results that you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, we all just want to feel better, don't we? We all just want to lead a happier, healthier life. And we all work more than what we should do nowadays. And yeah, if you are happy at work, then obviously you'll be happy at home and vice versa. So if you want to sit down with me, and we'll go through this boosted session together, then yeah, jump on that link in the threads. I only have 5 spots for these Facebook sort of promos each month. So obviously once the 5 spaces have gone, they've gone. But, you know, I do have a wait list as well. But yeah, we'll then work out what you need to do in order to move forward, in order for you to get out of your rut, move forward into that lifestyle that you're trying to achieve. And yeah, the results will be leading a happier home and work life. So yeah, that's me. So yeah, feel free to get in contact with me via Facebook, or yeah, Jen at bpmlabcoaching.com, or give me a text or a phone call 07872 940 500. And I wish you a very good day. Right then, speak to you soon. Bye.